Continuing on my tourist adventure. I'm in the village of Muchelney. I probably hasn't pronounced that right. And that's the tourist attraction over there, a ruined abbey, English heritage. Okay, English heritage, Muchelney Abbey. It's only open in the, it's not open in the winter. So I haven't heard of this abbey before, but let's see. Yeah, where's the entrance? Okay, I presume you just walk on the grass here. But it's kind of off the beaten track, and it's only a few miles from where I'm staying, so it looks like it's a pleasant space, a place to spend an hour or so. That's how the abbey looked in its heyday. Of course, like all these abbeys, they were destroyed by Henry VIII, the dissolution of the abbeys. But apparently an abbey has been on this site since the 7th century. Well, 7th century, that was the so-called the Dark Ages, and but there were centres of learning kept up by the religious authorities. The gift shop is located in the ante-room, and that's apparently the original ceiling from the original abbey. Survived the Henry VIII's demolition squad. But yeah, so this and this is probably the original floor as well. Yeah, so yeah. As I say, it's well, I don't think I ever get tired of visiting these old places. And of course, English heritage is when things are taken over by English heritage, they do an excellent job of keeping the sites up. Nice change after Wells Cathedral to have a place more or less for yourself. Okay. Now this building here, the Abbot's house, wasn't destroyed because it was they requisitioned it for the local dignitary. He requisitioned it for himself. And this large room was built in the late 15th century as a private space for the abbot, an important guest. So all this is probably original 15th century. The original features include the fireplace, wooden settle, fragments of stained glass. Yeah, so that's an original feature there. Right there, the fireplace. Of course, the floor looks modern. Okay, but it's I like it. I like having the place to yourself. It's you get the feeling, and okay, there's the village church, and you can see how big the abbey was at one time. And those are the foundations around there. Yeah, painted chamber. Yeah, wall painting. Please do not touch. I don't know, there was a wall painting there. I can't quite make it out, but yeah, I can make out little kind of insect-type features. I'm not sure. Yeah, all right. So the east room. Yeah. So this again was the kind of like the original abbot's house, you might say, but which when they destroyed they kept this for whoever took over the premises. They kept this building for their own use. Yeah, but it's kind of, I keep on saying it, I know, but have the, yeah, it's nice to kind of as though you almost live here and you own this house. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's any information. The gift shop. And here's another, this was the kitchen, the abbot's kitchen. Yeah. Okay. A monk's diet. Yeah, quite a lot to see here. Another kitchen, preparation for food. Okay, this is where they. This is. Right, more artifacts here, decorative stones. Some history on the more modern history, how the abbey was kind of renovated, possibly. It's quite interesting here. This, believe it or not, was the toilet block for the monks back in the good old days. That's the building I've just been around. A substantial building, but used as a farmhouse until 1924, according to the gentleman that was at the ticket desk. And okay, so this is the latrine. The toilets were on the first floor, and the waste dropped into this kind of like below here in this drain, and you can access or maybe clear the drain, I'm not sure, through these kind of arches. So yeah, and so okay, so I can go up here these steps and have a look at the old toilets back in the medieval times. So I don't know if the monks actually slept inside here, and there'd been a bit of a stink, because that's where the latrines would have been there. This, of course, been to some extent, looks like it's been renovated, but down there, the drop-ins went down there. It looks like they were cleaned out, maybe on a regular basis. Okay, so just a well, yeah, it's right, I think that's the basically. I think that's it, right? But I'll wander around the foundations, though. Yeah, the toilet block, and you can see it is a thatched roof, and I don't know if that's well, probably all part of the farmhouse. They kept up the thatch to some extent, but that's one of the projects, apparently. English Heritage is re-thatching that roof. Okay, it looks like you can get into the where the foundations are over here. Yeah, it's as I say, I kind of surf-eated. Is that the right word? Surf-eated after Wells Abbey and Cathedral, I should say. But still, it's nice to come here, especially when the sun's shining. Yeah, the Great Eye. Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, well, I've already shown this, but let's see if you can, somewhere in there is the original abbot's house. Yeah, but you can see it was a very substantial abbey, all completely destroyed, and that's all that's left of it, except for those two buildings, these foundations. So I wander around the foundations. The gentleman that's running at the ticket desk, he recommended me going around this church. So I'll go around the church and say a bit of a surfeit of interest medieval buildings. Well, this is what I came down for. And this was where you can see how magnificent the interior of these abbeys were. At one time this was the cloister, the foundations of the cloister apparently. I'm not sure what exactly. Maybe this, where I'm walking on it now, maybe you can see how thick the walls were. Limestone, of course, all limestone, local limestone construction. This is where the church was. The church being the most important part of the abbey, of course. Because now in Europe, where it remained largely Catholic, all these abbeys would still exist, I believe. They got a good supply of monastic buildings, so I believe, right? But they weren't destroyed by the likes of Henry VIII. Okay, so looks quite an impressive church. I could go around and say I'm not going to do any energetic walks today. I felt a little bit weary after that scramble up Eber Gorge yesterday, and I did quite a little bit of exercise the first couple of days as well. But you can see this was the church, and you can see remaining the foundations of the big supporting pillars. So it would have been impressive. Yeah, sun's shining, it's quite warm. Back to t-shirt weather. Okay, this looks like a coffin here. There's a little kind of what do you call them? A little kind of like place there for it to rest, his final resting place for his head. Yeah, 7 foot long coffin maybe. Yeah, alright. Yeah, continue on my wanderings. My car's just over there. Looks like there's about, there's about 6 cars here now, so I was an early arrival. I don't know what that, I'll see what that notice board is, what that looks quite interesting. Yeah, it is quite interesting. This section here was the foundations that remain of the Anglo-Saxon, the original Anglo-Saxon church that was here, and that's what it kind of, an artist's depiction of what the church looked like back then, right? Anglo-Saxon, much smaller, of course, than the big abbeys that were. So yeah, King Athelstan gave us money to build this church in the 10th century. Yeah, and we prayed for his souls as a result. Okay, so I'll go around that church that was recommended, and yeah. Okay, that's handy. There's a little footpath here on the side of this road to get to the entrance to the church. I think it looks a lot better when the sun's shining. There's another thatched cottage over there. Looks like the village war memorial. Yew trees, of course, which always signify the English village church. The church of St. Peter and St. Paul. Okay, alright. Looks like there's a couple of people here, maybe doing some thieves beware. Right. Okay, so this was recommended by the English Heritage man. So okay, look, that's one nice thing about these churchyards. Quite often you get some of the trees are preserved and allowed to mature Okay, it's a very sizable church. Look at the height of that tower. As usual, in the old days, you used to be able to ascend to the top of the tower, but I think they close these off these days. I will put a £1 coin in, but they are asking for £4.70 p, which means that they hope that 10 visitors on a daily basis will put in that amount, bringing it up to £47. Okay, so this is the interior of the church. Okay. I don't know whether there's some probably information here on the church. Church organ. The pulpit. I know nothing else about the church. It's I've got the place to myself. Oh, no, there's the church organ there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's, so I have a little choir on either side. The high altar. There's the holy book. So I open up the Chronicles. Satan stood up against Israel and incited David. Count the people. Well, I won't read any further, but yeah, look at that. That's a nice roof there. I think that was recommended by the English heritage man to have a look at that roof. So I might look up some information on this church when I get back. As I say, it's just a very brief visit. As I look round the abbey, and of course he might be instructed. There's the font. I don't know how old it is. The English heritage man might have been instructed to ask people to come around this church, and because obviously the more people, the more chance they'll donate to the church fund. Yeah, because all these churches are largely probably kept up by volunteers. Okay, so that's the interior of the church. It's pretty good. Of course, the tower is the most impressive thing, but you can't get access to that these days. The remains of the abbey. Looks like the foundations encroach on the church property. Now that's the entrance there, to climb up all the way up there to the tower. But of course there's a good sized padlock on it. Yeah, that's the story these days. As a kid, that's what I used to go around all these. That was my hobby, to go around the English country churches around Birmingham actually, and that was what I used to do. Climb up to the tower. They were all open. Churches were open those days. Welcome to the priest's house. Adults £4. Well, okay. I won't go inside. Oh, anyway, I don't have a choice. That remains closed. Yeah, so look at that though. Yeah, it's well worth visiting, probably, but yeah. So I won't be returning to this. I'm getting towards the end of my life. I shouldn't maybe. A bit doleful subject, but yeah, very good. All right, run the gauntlet with the traffic and get back to the car and carry on going.